to Kautilya Careers. Now, we will see 2016-17 budget. We will first discuss stock GK on budget. Stock GK. What is stock GK? The stock GK is a component where these never changes from year to year, year after year, and then current budget. Two angles are there, very important. One is stock GK, that is the GK which is relevant to the budget and questions will never change, and the other component is the current budget, that is we have to see the latest proposals, various schemes and all the other things. Now we will first discuss stock GK. In Constitution of India, Constitution, the budget word did not use. The word itself, budget, was not used. Two popular words are there which we use very generally. One is budget, other is cabinet. These two words were not used in the Constitution of India. Instead of budget, annual financial statement is used. Annual financial statement. What is the relevant article? Relevant article is 112. According to article 112, the government, union government, presents annual financial statements to Lok Sabha every year. This is one stock GK which you have to remember. So if the question is like this, which are the following term is used equally as budget in the Constitution of India? The answer is annual financial statement. And right now the cabinet is not relevant for us. Actually, cabinet word is not used in the Constitution of India. Instead of this one, Council of Ministers word was used. But popular, these two words are very popular with the name of cabinet, with the name of budget. This is number one. Next, for the first time in India, when the budget was introduced, actually on April 7th, 1860. This is the first time. Here the pictorial representation is there. The budget process of India is started even before the independence of India. The introducing the budget, this is the practice. This practice was started even before India got independence. When it started, it is the first time. It is on April 7th, 1860. Though who introduced it at that time? Okay, so East India Company. 2 years after the transfer of Indian administration from East India Company to British Crown, James Wilson was the first finance minister to present the budget. Actually, here a line is referring 2 years after the transfer of Indian administration from East India Company to British Crown. What it refers? Actually, since 1773, India was ruled by East India Company. There were two components are there in India. One is British India, the other is princely states. That means if it is an India, certain areas are there which are directly under the rule of East India Company, like Calcutta, Madras, Bombay, and certain princely states are there. You can see here Hyderabad. Hyderabad is a princely state. This is not directly under the rule of East India Company. So this East India Company rule was shifted from this East India Company to British Crown when in 1858. So probably you might have studied 1857 revolution. 1857 Sipai Mutiny we will call popularly. So after this Sipai Mutiny, the rule was the East India Company rule was replaced by British Crown rule. So after this, for the first time, James Wilson was introduced to the budget in India. So if the question is like that, before India independence, in which of the following year for the first time budget was introduced, you have to answer. But after India got independence, who was the first person to introduce budget? So if you see, this is Shanmugam Shetty. After independence, India's first finance minister R.K. Shanmugam Shetty presented the budget on November 26th, 1947. This is the first time. R. Shanmugam Chetty. This is a very, very important question. So now we have seen three stock GK questions as of now. Article 112 annual financial statement, and James Wilson and R. Shanmugam Shetty. Next, for the first time, actually right now in India, railway budget and general budget both are okay right now being presented differently. That is, general budget is different and railway budget is different. General budget will be introduced by the finance minister, railway budget will be introduced by the railway minister. So these two budgets were for the first time bifurcated in 1924. So for the first time these two budgets separately being started being presentation since 1924, and this is another important question. Now in India we have seen the first finance minister is R. Shanmugam Chetty. Now maximum number of times budget presented by, this is the most frequent question, maximum number of times budget presented by Morarji Desai. So in total 8 times he budget general budget, 2 times interim budget he presented. That means in total 10 times he presented the budget in India. So as of now is the maximum number of times he presented the budget in India. This is another important stock GK question. So in India financial year starts when? In India financial year starts from April 1st to March 31st. So this is the financial year of India, April 1st to March 31st. Why this was chosen as a financial year? Because in India harvest season ends in January. So the government will come to know the production, ultimate the production and the income level that in India that government accumulates. So with this accumulation, it easy for government of India to present the budget in the month of April. This is the reason. These are the generally stock GK questions that regularly will be asked in most of the times in the competitive examinations. Now we'll come to the 2016 and 17 budget. So here the important is how government will get the amount and how government will spend the amount. This is nothing but simple, like just assume that you are the house owner and how per month you will get the money and how you will spend the money. This is the important. So certain terms are there that we have to know. For example, if you are earning 100 rupees, if you are earning 100 rupees and you are spending every month 20 rupees, that means every month it is deficit of 20 rupees. You are forced to go into the deficit every year. This is known as deficit. Suppose if you are earning every month 100 rupees and spending only 20 rupees genuinely, that means here every month 20 rupees surplus is there. There is no deficit and 20 rupees surplus is there. So which is the better one? The second case is the better one. So what happens if first case will happen? So finance minister will speak all this kind of situations in the budget. So first of all we have to see here we are focusing purely on competitive examination orientation. Now for India, how rupee comes, how government of India ends. So if you see here borrowings and other liabilities, that means a government of India will bring the money. So how much? For every 100 paisa, 21 paisa that it brings. Now question, how they asked question on this one, on this particular issue, they will ask like this: which of the following is the highest source of revenue for India? So where it get the maximum amount? From borrowings. If you see here this graph, borrowings is the highest one. So India brings, where it brings, that's the immaterial. For our examination point of view, they will ask you to state the questions. See how these are the various areas. From borrowings, government of India will get the money. From corporate tax, India will get the money. From income tax, government of India will get the money. From customs tax, government of India will get the money. From excise, from service tax, from non-tax revenue, that means the fees or other license fees or chalanas, all these are resources for government of India. It gets the money. Out of all these sources, which is the maximum source that provides to the government of India the money? That is borrowings. How much percentage? For every 100 paisa, 21 paisa. That means 21 percentage of amount that government of India will accumulate from the borrowings. This is the maximum source. This is for 2016 and 17, but generally every time the maximum source for the union government's budget is the borrowings only. Even this is the same case in case of 2015 and 16. Now after borrowings, question number 2, we are moving to the question number 2. Here we are focusing straight away on the competitive examinations. Question 2. As I told you in the first question was the highest source for the government of India as per 2016-17 budget, that is the borrowings. Now the rest of the things, whatever I told you, one is corporation tax, the other is income tax. These are the direct taxes. Corporation tax is the direct tax, income tax is the direct tax. Same way customs, so union, excise duties, this is excise duties, service tax. So all these are there. We need not to remember everything. Now if you see here the budget, corporate tax, from corporate tax government of India gets 19 paise. 19 paise. That means corporate tax. What is corporate tax? So if tax is levied on salary, that means an employee will pay. We will call that one an income tax. Suppose if you get the job, either group 2 officer or staff selection commission or banking recruitments, either bank probationary officer or bank clerk, if your income is more than 2,50,000 per annum, that you will fall under the tax category, that you have to pay the tax. So if tax is levied on salary, different slabs are there. We will see the different slabs at a later time, but as of now just understand, if tax is levied on salary, we will call that one income tax. But if tax is levied on profit, that we will call that one as a corporate tax. So who will get the profit? Firms or companies or organizations or corporates. So if corporates get the profits, on their profits they will pay the tax. This is known as the corporate tax. It's a direct tax. So now here, as per the budget presentation, income tax is of 14 paise and customs is 8 paise, union excise duties is 12 paise, and through service tax it is 9 paise. So they will ask you question, out of all the taxes, which of the following tax provides which of the following tax is the maximum source for the union government? Then you have to answer corporate tax. Now very carefully see the question. What is the maximum source of revenue for the government of India as far as 2016-17 budget is concerned? It is borrowings. Out of the taxes, which of the following is the maximum source for union government to raise the revenues? It is corporate tax. If it is asked in the terms of taxes, you have to answer corporate tax. If it is asked out of all the sources, it may be tax or non-tax, you have to answer borrowings. These are the two very, very important questions. Now if you see the spendings, that's another important very, very frequent questions. Spendings, here plan 12%. So generally we have planned expenditure, non-planned expenditure. So, so these two terms are there. Generally in the budget release it is used. How much is planned expenditure, non-planned? You need not to remember the aggregate amounts. So most of the times they won't ask you any aggregate amounts. Now planned amount is an amount which is spent where for the development, socio development activities, if government spends, and if there is a way of getting the money back, that money is known as planned expenditure. For example, laying the roads, that means it is a development. So anyway, by imposing toll tax, government can re-get the money. So even though if it doesn't get the money, it is for the development of the people. So this is one of the development activities. That is the reason why it is known as planned expenditure. Non-planned, like you take salary, government will not get in any way the amount, this particular amount in the bank. So that is the reason why it is known as non-planned expenditure. So as far as the budget is concerned, planned expenditure is 12 paise. That means for every 100 rupees the government of India spends, 12 paise will be sent. For every 100 paise, 12 paise will be sent to the planned expenditure. Okay, next, for interest payments. So government of India, as I told you, highest source of revenue income is borrowings. So highest going again is for same interest, because we are getting huge amount of money from the borrowings. So obviously we have to pay interest for them. So highest source that goes from government of India, that is interest payments. That you have to answer like this. So based on investments, the questions will be asked like this. For example, if you see here, for defense, government of India spends 10%, for subsidies again 10%, other non-planned expenditure 12%. That means planned and not planned. Okay, both are of the same this time. However, this time it may not be an important question as far as planned and non-planned is concerned, because the finance minister Arun Jaitley in the 2016-17 budget proposed that very soon government of India is going to give up this planned and non-planned concept. So probably when this issue will not be there in the near future, may not be an important for the examination point of view. So these are the important things as far as budget is concerned. Next, so in every time in the budget, the government gives priorities. So here we focused these priorities, 9 priorities that is specified in the budget. So here we have taken each priority and allocation to that priority and schemes of that priority, because in the competitive examinations these are the 3 areas that examiner focuses. That is the reason why we have chosen in this way. So the aspirant can understand very easily through this method, and is a to the point approach. So that is the reason, pure reason, in order to benefit the students we have chosen this method. So what are the 9 priorities? One is agriculture and farmers welfare, social sector, which includes healthcare, which includes education and infrastructure. So ease of doing, all these are there. For rural sector, for everything is there, we have specified. So this, now through this method we will approach right now. So this budget was presented on 29th February. So remember, I told you Morarji Desai, the maximum number of times that budget presented by which finance minister? Answer is Morarji Desai. So his date of birth, he was born on 29th February. So even on his birthday, twice he presented the budget, right? So this is another important stock GK question. So later Morarji Desai even became the Prime Minister of India also. So he was the first non-Congress Prime Minister in India. He became the Prime Minister from Janata Dal Party. So agriculture and farmer welfare, rural sector, social sector, education skill. Now we will see each sector wise schemes. Now first one is agriculture and farmer welfare. So this time Government of India has given much importance to the agriculture sector. So questions you can expect from this particular area. So if you see in 2015-16 financial year, 2015-16 financial year, the amount that was spent, that was allocated for this agriculture and farmer welfare is rupees 35,984 crore rupees. But present it is increased to it is 2016-17 spendings. If you see 2015-16 spendings, it is 24,909 crore. Now here you need not to remember all these figures, just see in terms of percentages. That means the percentage increase is 44%. So they may focus this particular figure. So what is the increase of 44% means? Suppose if it is 100 rupees in 2015 and 16 financial year, it is 144 rupees in 2016 and 17 financial year. That is actually its meaning is, that means they may ask directly for agriculture and farmer welfare, how much percentage the allocation in the budget increased? That is 44%. You need not to remember all these figures. Now another important aim of Government of India specified in the budget and even specified by the Prime Minister of India, that Government of India wants to double the farmer income by 2020. This is an important question. How they will ask this particular question? By what year or by which year Government of India specified an aim increasing or doubling the farmer's income? The answer will be 2020. So Government of India has specified many targets. So housing for all by 2022, like this specific targets are there. So we need to remember this one also. This is very, very important. And if you see why allocations increased, if they want to question analytically why allocation increased this time for the agriculture, so some political reasons may be there, but examination point of view those were not important. As you know, many opposition parties claimed that elections were there in the 5 states. That may be the reason that pulled the Government of India to give priority to the agriculture and farmer welfare. However, as specified in the budget, 2 continuous droughts were there. So in order to push, in order to help or uplift the life of farmer, Government of India has given. So much importance was given. So the out of this one is, the biggest one is loans waived of 15,000 crore interest subvention for short-term crop loans. This is a very, very important question. They may ask you, as per the budget proposal, what amount of interest under subvention short-term crop loans was waived by the union government? That is rupees 15,000 crore. As I said to you earlier, these figures, that is 24,909 crores, 35,984 crores, they are not much important, but this 15,000 crore was very, very important. Now we will see schemes also. So Kisan Kalyan Cess was imposed. What is cess? Here you need to understand cess and surcharge. So what is cess? Cess means it is levied for a particular issue. For example, if education cess, that means education cess is 0.5%. Remember that if education cess is there for 0.5%, that means for every 100 rupees a 0.5% cess is levied. So this 0.5% amount is used for the development of education. That means for a special purpose, for a particular purpose, this amount is used. that is known as a cess. Suppose if you had seen very recently, Government of India, Union Government has imposed a 0.25% cess on service taxes for Swachh Bharat. What actually it means? So we already have service tax. Service tax is 14% right now. So suppose if you had spent 100 rupees, 114 rupees that you have to pay. That is including service tax. For this 14 rupees, 0.25% cess is levied for this 14 rupees. That means 0.25% of 14 rupees. This will be directly given to Swachh Bharat to conduct Swachh Bharat activities. This is the meaning of the cess. So this time JLD introduced a Kisan Kalyan cess of 0.5% on all taxable services, and out of this, Government of India wants to earn rupees 500 crore, and this is used for the welfare of the farmers. As I said you, special aim or specific aim will be there on the cess. Now in this case, under Kisan Kalyan cess, what is the special purpose is there? That is for the welfare of the farmers. There is a speciality is there. So how the question is asked in this case? Question is asked, how much percentage of Kisan Kalyan cess was imposed, or how much amount that Government of India wants to garner through Kisan Kalyan cess? In the first question the answer is 0.5%. In the second question answer is rupees 5,000 crore. It's a very, very important question. Now, and what is the other important thing that in order to help the farmers that is introduced? So FDIs. What are FDIs? Foreign direct investments. Again, foreign direct investments are subjected to the regulation or the conditions of the Union Government. So in all sectors, FDIs are not allowed. That means foreign companies are not allowed to invest whatever the amount that they want. The government regulates those investments. That is known as the foreign direct investments. For example, if you take retail sector, in a single retail sector, any company can invest in India 100%. That means they can own their own company. But for example, if you see in insurance sector, it is only 14%. That means the foreign companies are allowed to invest only 49 rupees out of 100 rupees. That means the leadership role will be there with the Indian company only. So government specifies these percentages through their policies. Now, what is the importance in this case? It is here foreign direct investments through Foreign Investment Promotion Board for marketing of food products. So right now government feels that food products are not being marketed as they should be. They are not being marketed. So if FDIs are allowed, the demand for the food products increases. If the demand for food products increases, it benefits the farmers. That is the idea. So if they want to ask which are the following welfare activity for the farmers in the recent budget, out of 4 options you have to choose one option, that is FDIs in 100% FDIs in foreign in food products, in the marketing of the food products. If they want to difficult the question, why 100% FDIs are allowed to market the food products in the budget? Because to increase the demand of food products. If FDIs come, more investments, more marketing. So moreover, foreign direct investment means foreign companies will do more professional marketing when we compare with the domestic marketing. That is the idea. So they may ask you question like this. So this is for the welfare of the farmer community. Next, setting up of 200 model retail outlets of fertilizer companies that will be provided soil seed testing facilities over the next 3 years. Actually, here we have to see another one also, soil card. So Modi government introduced soil card scheme. That means actually Indian farmers do not use the technology, okay, as the farmers use. So that is the reason why this scheme was introduced. What actually this will, so a farmer is there, so his land is there, actually it is not possible where this land may not access all kind of fertilizers. It is the nature of the soil is very important in order to do agriculture. That is the reason why this scheme is introduced. It's not introduced in the budget. Even before the budget it is introduced, but the allocations were there for this soil card scheme in this particular budget. So what they will do, the agriculture scientists will come, they will test the soil, they will do all kind of tests by taking the land, and they will give this card to the farmer where it will be inserted what kind of fertilizer they have to use, actually what kind of plants that is helps to the farmer in this field. Everything will be given, scientific suggestion will be given to the all the farmers across the country. So in order to do that, 2000 model retail outlets of fertilizers companies will be provided. So soil seed testing facilities will be provided in the coming next 3 years. So this is an important development is there. So if we go to the next point, so rupees 368 crore is again important figure. 368 rupees crore has been provided for soil health cards. 368 crore. Now next important one is, in the previous budget it is only 168 crore. That means how much up? It is 200 crores up. Now another important is 5500 crore for Prime Minister's Fasal Bhima Yojana. It's an important one. In the month of January 2016, Government of India and the Union Cabinet has taken a decision to introduce Prime Minister's Fasal Bhima Yojana. It is an agriculture crop insurance scheme. Kharif, Rabi, 2 agriculture seasons are there. Kharif, Rabi. So out of the total premium, the premium will be decided by the insurance companies. Out of the total premium that will be decided by the insurance companies, the farmers has to pay only 2% for Kharif crops and only 1.5% in case of Rabi crops. This is what about the scheme is. That we will discuss later on about totally about the scheme. But for this scheme, the budget allocation was 5500 crore. They will directly ask you the question. This is the very important. In this case, there is a chance of asking the amount. So how much budget allocation was made to the Prime Minister's Fasal Bhima Yojana? That is rupees 5500 crore. Now they may ask you another question on the same topic. What is that one? Actually, what was the estimation for the Prime Minister's Fasal Bhima Yojana? What is the difference between allocation and estimation? Actually, when the scheme was announced in the 2016 January by the Union Cabinet, chaired by the Prime Minister of India, they thought that it would require 8,800 crore at that time. But in the budget they allocated only 5,500 crore. So they may ask you the question. In 2 ways they may ask the question. What was the actual estimation of Prime Minister's Fasal Bhima Yojana? 8,800 crore will be the answer. What is the actual budget allocation from Prime Minister's Fasal Bhima Yojana? 5,500 crore. So 2 are very important components. By carefully scanning the question, you need to answer. That is the another important one. For Prime Minister Fasal Bhima Yojana is a different issue. As I said I have said only one provision in the present class, because our present class is of the purpose of budget, that we will discuss very clearly about the Prime Minister Fasal Bhima Yojana. Other provisions are there. As of now, you have to remember that Kharif and Rabi seasons. In the Kharif crop, for the Kharif crops, out of total premium, 2% the farmers has to pay and 1.5% that farmers have to pay. Now minimum support price. So in the budget, the finance minister announced a 3-pronged strategy to ensure farmers received minimum support price set by center. These include encouraging states to take up decentralized procurement. That means procurement as of now is not decentralized. That means everywhere the procurement is not happening. Procurement is nothing but taking from the farmers. So this is one, and the second one is online procurement system through FCI. This will become an important question because on April 14th, Government of India wants to start in a big way this one. Why this date? This is the birth date of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So they want to online this procurement process. That big scheme that we will talk later on once it is launched, and making effective arrangement for procurement of pulses. When actually procurement started in India? In 1966-67. So minimum support price was the concept was introduced in India from 1966 to 67. This is a stock GK question, and the current is 3 ways are there. Once this scheme is launched, that will be another session. So this is another one. Now for the enhancement of pulses production, the budget allocated 500 crore for under National Food Security Mission. So they may ask you how much allocation was made for the enhancement of the pulses under National Food Security Mission. Is 500 crore. And another most important for this particular one, it is extended in the 622 districts across the country. These are very, very important. Next, 674 Krishi Vignana Kendras with a total prize money of 15 lakh to improve efficiency and performance of these Kendras. So Government of India already established this Krishi Vignan Kendras. Now a competition, a spirit, in order to imbibe a spirit, this prize money was declared. They may ask you, what is the purpose of declaring the prize money for the Krishi Vignan Kendras? You may ask you, in order to increase the efficiency and performance of the Kendras. So generally the prize will be given only for the efficiency. In order to promote the efficiency, to imbibe the spirit of the competitiveness, this was allocated. Next, 2.85 million hectares, so another important one, will be brought under irrigation through Prime Minister or Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sanchay Yojana. So what is this Yojana? In order to extend the irrigation facilities, this scheme was started in the 2015 itself. This scheme was announced. Right now, it was the aim is bringing 2.85 million hectares. This is a very, very important component. So Prime Minister Krishi Sanchay Yojana. So the government has made irrigation and drought proofing priority after 2 consecutive monsoon failures. Already I told you, okay, why the allocations were there more when compared the last time, almost 44% increase. This is because of 2 failures. Now 89 projects under accelerated benefits program, AAB program, okay, will be made very speed. That is the reason why this scheme was declared. Next, so what actually this PMSKY, in what way it helps? This will help nearly 18 million, as I said you, 8 million hectare. The amount that will be sent under this one is rupees 17,000 crore. So on these projects next year, not next year, it is for this year. In the coming 5 years, 86,500 crores will be spent in the coming 5 years. In this present financial year, it is rupees 17,000 crore. Next, NABARD. Under NABARD, another specific is there. What is this NABARD? NABARD is a bank, rural agriculture bank, National Agricultural Bank for Rural Development. This is the NABARD. It was established in 1980s itself on the recommendation of Shivaraman. This is a stock GK question, another one. So NABARD was established on whose recommendations? Shivaraman's committee recommendation. Now, a budget created dedicated long-term irrigation fund under NABARD. This is the important one. So its initial corpus fund is 20,000 crore. This is a very, very important one. And another important allotment in the budget for the farmer community is direct benefit transfer. What is direct benefit transfer? I think you might have seen linking of Aadhaar. So already gas subsidy of the gas is linked to the DBT. That means earlier, suppose if cylinder costs 1000 rupees, if government of India gives 400 rupees subsidy, that is every household used to pay only 600 rupees. That is 400 rupees subsidy. But right now every household, even the government of India declared the same subsidy, every household has to pay 1000 rupees. The 400 rupees will be credited into their bank account directly. There is the direct benefit of transfer. Now this time government of India want to deliver the fertilizer subsidies through this system. So already gas is linked with the DBT. This time they may ask which of the following system was brought under direct benefit or transfer in 2016-17 budget. Then you have to answer delivering the fertilizer subsidies. So every farmer will get directly into their account. So what is the use of this one? In order to increase the transparency or in order to curb the corruption, because farmers are not getting the benefits through this system, that in order to control the black market of the fertilizers. This is the main aim. So these are for the farmer community. So what are the important one? Increasing of 44%. Next, Prime Minister Fasal Bima Yojana, that is just remember 5,500 crore only allocated out of 8,800 crore estimations, and direct benefit of transfer. And what are the other points that we have seen? Special corpus fund, creation of special corpus fund for irrigation, accelerated irrigation benefit program. All these are important for the farmer community. Now we will move to the next sector, that is rural sector. So allocation of total allocation for this may be the important one. Total allocation for rural sector is rupees 87,765 crore. Total allocation for rural sector. So out of this, 2.87 lakh crore will be given grant in aid to Gram Panchayat and municipalities. This is the recommendation of 14th Finance Commission. What 14th Finance Commission has? What is actually 14th Finance Commission? Again, Finance Commission is a constitutional body under Article 280. It's a constitutional body. Now, it has recommended 42% to the states. What actually it means? That means if government of India collects 100 rupees in the form of taxes, 58 rupees will go to the union government, 42 rupees will go to the state governments. Now, this is the recommendation of 14th Finance Commission under the chairmanship of Y.V. Reddy. So government of India had accepted this recommendation. Alright. Now, out of this 42 rupees, the Finance Commission has recommended how these amounts should be distributed among the states and how states have to give to the local governments. That is what this rupees 2.87 lakh crore grant in aid. So based on the 14th Finance Commission 14th Finance Commission recommendation, this amount was specified. What is Finance Commission? Finance Commission is a constitutional body under Article 280. Who was the chairman of 14th Finance Commission? It is Y.V. Reddy. These are important points. Now, another important allotment for the rural development is allocation for MGNREGA, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Program. So 38,500 crore for this time. This is the important you have to remember, because the scheme is already in discussion, because opposition parties are alleging that government of India is not giving much importance to this flagship program. So this scheme was started in February, if you want it, on February 2nd in 2006. It started in Anantapur district in Andhra Pradesh. So for this program 38,500 crore was allocated for Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. So 100 days employment will be provided for those who enrolled in this scheme, or wages will be given. This is the important. Now 300 urban clusters developed under Sham Prasad Mukherjee Urban Mission. So another one, this is started in both rural and urban areas. The scheme was declared in the 2015 July month. So 300 urban clusters will be developed. Next, 100% village electrification by May 2008. This we will see in detail in the session only at a later time. We will see this one in detail, this particular scheme, because it has got much importance. Now district level committees, this is a new new proposal in the 2016-17 budget. So district level committees under chairmanship of senior most Lok Sabha MP from the districts for monitoring implementation, and so in order to implement this scheme, so new scheme Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan. So a new scheme was proposed. What is that scheme? Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan. So under this one 655 crore is proposed and it is allotted. 655 crore is allotted. So who will see under this one? The local governments has to conduct certain developmental activities. Then who will monitor all this? Okay, the senior most MP in that particular district. So if a district has 5 or 6 MP seats, out of this 5 or 6, the senior most member will see that one. So Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan has been proposed with 655 crore. The scheme will help Panchayat Raj institutions to develop sustainable development goals. Again, what are these sustainable development goals? These are the sustainable development goals that are specified on in September 2015. United Nations General Assembly adopted these goals. A lot of goals are there. Achieving 100% literacy, achieving sanitation, and if you see providing elementary education for all the people. All those activities are there under sustainable development. Protecting environment is also one of the key component of sustainable development goal. So all these were bought under Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan, and 655 crore is allocated. And again, the senior most Lok Sabha member will see these activities. This is a very important one. That is for the rural sector. Now, if we move to the social sector, so social sector, here we included both education and healthcare. So this sector attracted ₹1,51,581 crore rupees in terms of rupees crore. This total budget allocation was made for these two sector. Now 200 crore cost of providing LPG connection to below poverty line families. Here you have to see, for below poverty line families, what is poverty line? That is economic issue where under different parameters the BPL was defined. So as far as food is concerned, if food based on food, if we classify BPL, those who are taking less than 2,400 kilocalories in rural areas or less than 2,100 kilocalories in urban areas, okay, will be considered as the poor people. This is based on food. If you take the financial resources, those who are earning less than 28 rupees in urban areas, those who are earning less than 21 rupees in rural areas will be considered as the people below poverty line. This is the recommendation of Suresh Tendulkar committee. Now there's a different issue, different classification. Now we will see that here 2,000 crore allocated for LPG connection to BPL families. If LPG connection is provided for them, it even helps the environment also, because those families right now depended upon the wood, so they cut the trees in order to cook. So this can be stopped. So this helps the environment as well as for the poor people. Now here we have to remember another scheme called Pahal scheme. This was started last year. Under the Pahal scheme, the gas connection will be provided within the 24 hours after the apply. So this is not for the poor people, actually BPL. Anyone can do this one. But Government of India provided exclusively for BPL families 2000 crore in order to provide LPG connection for those poor people. Now, new health protection scheme was also announced. So health cover up to 1 lakh per family is given. So another important initiative. Next, 3,000 stores will be opened under Prime Minister Jan Aushadhi Yojana. What actually this Prime Minister Jan Aushadhi Yojana will do? They many drugs they will sell at a very cheaper price for the poor people. So for them, 3,000 stores will be opened under this particular scheme. And another one is National Dialysis Services, another innovation scheme. So what they will do under National Dialysis Service program? So for poor people, dialysis they will do at a very low cost. So under this, many operators are required. So for that one, through PPP mode they are doing this. What is PPP mode? Public private partnership. So private participants is allowed under this scheme. So under private partners will be allowed. So under this dialysis, so for a specified number of times, it will be done with very less price. This is important. It helps the poor people. And if we see the this education are providing, okay, for SC STs, a scheduled caste scheduled tribe hub to be set up with industry association. In what way it helps? It helps in order to, okay, bring up through startup companies. So it helps to the SC ST community. Now if we see education, skills and job creation, another component out of the 9, 2016 a good amount was allocated for this. Mainly this time they focused on skill development. So what actually the complaint of the industries is, our future youth, if you see 54% in India, in total population 54% in India are under or around 25 each years. That means youth is high in number in India. They need the job, but they are lack of certain skills in the employment. So in order to promote these skills, this time good number of amount was allocated. So we will see that one. Now the overall spend has increased from 68,306 crore to 73,943 crore. There is an increase, substantial increase is there. So this will be given to human resource development. And for skill development and entrepreneurship, so that is, I told you, skill development, the amount increased from 1,038 crore to 1,804 crore. Another important one. So this, after universalization of primary education throughout the country, the government wants to take next big step. Okay, what is that big step? Focusing on the quality of education. So actually, when this universalization of primary education was done, it is under Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. It was started by Atal Bihari Vajpayee government in 2000. What is its main aim? Extending making the education, primary education is a fundamental right. Under article amendment 86th amendment. So the relevant amendment for this scheme is 86th amendment. Is a very important. So what 86th amendment has done? So it has done that basic education is a fundamental right. In order to implement this, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan was started in the year of 2000 when Atal Bihari Vajpayee government was there. Now here this time, not merely providing the education, but the focus is on providing a quality education. That is the reason why amount that is being spent under the scheme had increased enormously. So, and another proposal is 60 new Navodaya Vidyalayas will be opened in the coming 2 years. So already many districts were covered. So remaining districts where this scheme was not covered, so in those districts 62 new Navodaya Vidyalayas will be started. So next, a higher education financing agency. What this agency will do? It will mobilize the resources. How it will mobilize the resources? From various ways. For example, CSR is there. What is CSR? Corporate Social Responsibility. Corporate Social Responsibility. Under this corporate social responsibility, if any company wants to donate the amount for the education sector, so this HEFA or Higher Education Finance Agency will mobilize these resources. What actually this corporate social responsibility? So if we see in 2013 this act was made. According to this one, every company, it has to spend for the social development of the country at least 2% of the amount they have to spend on the average profits of last 3 to 4 years. Okay, last 3 years you take. Okay, suppose if a company is getting profit of 100 rupees in first year, 100 rupees next year, 100 rupees next year, total profit is 300 rupees. Just I am giving you some figures. So 300 rupees, out of 300 rupees 2%, that means 6 rupees. In total, this 6 rupees that particular company has to spend for the social sector. They defined what is actually the social sector is. Suppose if any company spent for the rejuvenation of Ganga, that is considered, or if any company is spent on the education or in the construction of a building in the rural area, that is considered as the corporate social responsibility, or health sector. In any sector they can invest. Right now these resources again will be mobilized by the Higher Education Financing Agency. Again the companies, by giving the money to this particular agency, they can show it those amount, that given amount under CSR, that is under corporate social responsibility scheme, that they can show. So with the initial capital of 1000 crore, this agency was created. This mobilizes the resources, and this will be used for the increasing of education facilities, focusing on quality education, as I told already. And apart from this, 1500 multi-skill training institutes will be set up across the country. So how much amount is dedicated for that one? 1700 crore has been set aside for this purpose. Next, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, again which was started in the year 2015 July, in order to skill 1 crore youth in the coming 3 years. This is another important one. And entrepreneurship education and training will provide in 2200 colleges, 300 school and 500 government ITS, 50 vocational training centers through massive open online courses. So all these are new initiatives. Next, National Career Service launched in July 2015 already has 35 million job seekers registered on this platform. So what actually this career mission will do? It will make the youth job ready personalities. That means what actually the skills that are required in order to perform a job, those skills will be imparted by this organization. Now, Government of India wants to proposed to make 100 model career centers operational by the 2016-17 in this financial year only. So they want to operate all these model career centers. So these centers will be interlinked with the employment exchanges. So right now government wants to change these employment exchanges, not merely just providing the employment but also providing the skill training. So in order to make them skill training centers, because youth what youth skills that youth had is not useful for the companies, and what the companies would require is not being taught in the education institutions. That is, some gap is happening between the job and education. So these organizations are created in order to fill that particular gap. Next, if we see the next component, infrastructure investments. So in order to bring the socio-economic development, the important sectors that we have to invest is: one, education. So because education creates the opportunity creates the wealth. Next, social, that is health sector. So if we provide good amount health, and third, education, health and other social allied activities, that's providing employment, all those. And apart from this, infrastructure is also very, very important. So if good infrastructure is there, this good infrastructure creates employment. If employment is created, the national income also gets increased. This is what the idea. So total outlay for the infrastructure is 2,21,246 crore. Remember, this is a very, very important figure. 2,21,246 crore. Now total investment in the road sector is PMGSY. What is this PMGSY? Prime Minister Gram Sadak Yojana. Prime Minister Gram Sadak Yojana, started in the year of 2000 by the then Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So 97,000 crore is invested this time for the development of the roads. So what is the use? By the development of the roads makes linking of the from villages to districts. So this increases the mobility of the goods. So if the mobility of the goods increases from villages to districts, the villages will get the benefit, particularly the farmer community or the people who depend upon the vocationals. So all those get the benefits. So that is the reason why the good importance is given for the infrastructure development. Next, now what is the various targets or achievements in the road sector? So these are specified. These are very, very important. Now, India's highest ever kilometers new highways awarded in 2015. What it actually means? That means, suppose in 2014, if the target was 100 kilometers, that means laying the 100 kilometers length of the road. In 2015, if it is 150, this is the highest ever. Actually, that's I'm giving this hypothetical figures, but these are not the real figures. Now, what actually government is aimed? Government wants to approve 10,000 kilometers national highways in the 2016-17. This is highest ever. That means in this particular financial year, they will construct the 10,000 kilometers highway. The distance of the highways that will be going to the construct in this financial year is 10,000 kilometers, the highest ever target. So in total allocation for roads is 50,500 crores. What is this? This is for infrastructure. Remember, 2,21,246 is for infrastructure, and in this infrastructure 55,000 crore is for the roads. In the same way, 15,000 crore additional is there for NHA. NHA means National Highways Authority of India. For this one, so it maintains the highways. For exclusively for NHA, this again 15,000 crore was given. Next, in the next 15 to 20 years, to increase the investments in nuclear power generation. So PPP mode, that means public private partnership mode, was introduced. So what actually nuclear power is? By using nuclear technology, we have to produce the nuclear power. So India had even many bilateral agreements as far as to develop this nuclear power. For example, we have with Russia, we have with Australia, we have with France, like this with many countries, even Kazakhstan. Recently there was an agreement between India and Kazakhstan. So in order to bring this nuclear power, because nuclear power is a cheaper one when compared to the other powers. Moreover, it is considered as a green energy. That is the reason. Now if we move to the next one, financial sector reforms. So they particularly focus the safety and security of the finance of the poor people. So bankruptcy code will be bought. So what is bankruptcy? Bankruptcy is, right, so in order to protect the public, they should not be deceived under various schemes. The public should not be deceived under the various schemes, because the private companies will hugely collect the amount by declaring various schemes, and they will declare the insolvency. So when this happens, the poor people will be affected highly. In order to protect them, the bankruptcy code will be introduced as the finance minister proposed in this one. So what this code will do? This code provides specialized resolution mechanism to deal with bankruptcy solutions in the bank, insurance companies, financial sector entities. So it may be a bank that may declare insolvency, or it may be any financial institute, or even it may be any insurance company. So the common man needs protection from this. So if you have remember what happened in Sharada scam in West Bengal, so the poor man got affected out of this. So in order to protect the poor man, or a salaried person who purely depended upon his salary and saving his amount for his future purposes, should not be deceived. So that is the reason why government wants to introduce this code. Okay, right. Next, asset reconstruction companies. What are asset reconstruction companies? In order to understand asset reconstruction companies, we have to understand NPAs. Anyway, we require for another purpose. So NPA is non-performing asset. Non-performing asset. So suppose a person had taken rupees 100 crore loan. If he is not repaying to the concerned bank, so the bank will wait, right, for 90 days, and if he is not repaying the loan 90 days, and after 90 days a notice will be issued with a period of 30 days. So after this 90 plus 30 days, it is declared as an NPA. That means non-performing asset. That means the person had taken the loan and not repaying. So under SARFAESI Act, there is another act is there known as SARFAESI Act. So under SARFAESI Act, the bank can initiate any action for this. So this is the mechanism. However, an alternative mechanism was also created in the name of ARC, that means Asset Reconstruction Company. That means here what happened, bank has to wait for 90 days, then again it has to give a period of 30 days time notice. After this 120 days, it has to declare an NPA. So once it is declared as an NPA, the bank will either auction that particular property in order to get its amount back. So instead of all this process, a company was created by the government of India known as Asset Reconstruction Company. This Asset Reconstruction Company will purchase or buy this NPA. That means this 100 crore, but not exactly 100 crore, certain amount will be paid to the concerned bank, and it will consider its ARC will purchase that NPA, and it will recollect from the person. Again, different ways are there. However, we are not in detail of the about those issues, because here we are concerned about the budget. So this a major proposal in the budget to tackle the problem of stressed assets. That means where there is a problem of recovery. So banks that are concerned, the Asset Reconstruction Company, a major proposal was proposed to solve these stressed assets. That means NPAs. What is that proposal? Continuing government efforts to deal with high levels of performing assets or bad debts or state and banks allocated 25,000 crore towards their recapitalization in the next financial year. So with this rupees 25,000 crore, they will recapitalize those amount. This is a very, very important proposal. Particularly those who are writing the banking examination, they have to focus on this one. They have to focus on asset reconstruction companies also. So next, rupees 25,000 crore in each in the current and next financial will be provided. Okay, why this amount, extra amount? Why they are providing this extra? In order to meet Basel norms. So Basel norms are those norms which each bank has to show Tier 1 and Tier 2 amount. That's a different issue. So banks will be provided in the 25 crore capital each in the current and next financial years. This is a very, very important allotment, and you just remember this one also. In the next two financial years, that is 2017 and 18, 18 and 19, rupees 20,000 crore will be given for capital. Next, as an important one, IDBI, Industrial Development Bank of India. That means government wants to reduce its equity less than 50%. That means it will be no more, maybe probably if this happens, it will not be called as a nationalized bank. Maybe we can call that one into a private bank, because if government investments are shares are there 51%, then only we can say that one a nationalized bank. So this will be happen for the IDBI bank. However, IDBI employees are protesting against this particular decision. If it happens, that then only we have to study. So how the question they may ask the question like this: for which of the following bank Government of India wants to reduce its equity to below 50%? So they may give you SBI, Bharatiya Mahila Bank, IDBI. Like this they may give you. You have to choose. The correct answer is IDBI. So they may give you even SIDBI. SIDBI is Small Industrial Development Bank of India. This IDBI is Industrial Development Bank of India. Now we'll move to the next component: ease of doing business. What is ease of doing business? So in India, in order to do business, lot of permissions or licenses are required. Okay, when these provisions are more, the companies will not come as easy as if the rules are not there. Okay, if more rules are there, more complexities are there, the companies which wanted to invest will go back if the process is cumbersome. So if this process is liberalized, the companies will come very easily and open their business. So it increases the employment. That is what the ease of doing business. So World Bank every time gives the rank. For this time, India's rank is 130. You remember this is very, very important. According to World Bank ease of doing business index, what is the rank of India? 130. Earlier, that means last year the rank was 134. Now 4 ranks decreased. That means India has created a favorable environment for the business. So now in order to do that one, a Companies Act 2000 will be introduced in 2016-17, which main aim is liberalizing this license, Raj. Liberalizing the rules and regulations. So they may be doing online system. They may introduce online system where they will get the permission by producing an online application form in one platform. Okay, so no need to go to various departments, no need to run to the various ministries in order to get the permissions. So what this idea is all about. So this proposal would be also improving the enabling of startup companies, because Government of India giving good importance for the startup companies. So already a new scheme was also introduced for the startups in the January 2016, and we will discuss later on. So here the Director General of Supplies and Disposable will establish a technology driven platform to facilitate transparency and efficiency in procurements of goods and services by various ministries and agencies of government. So they may ask question: which of the following is the nodal agency in order to produce goods and services in the process of liberalization? That is Director General of Supplies and Disposable. So these are all in order to increase ease of doing business. Next, a price stabilization fund is also created. which is now worth of 900 crore. So in order to support market innovation in procurement of pulses. So this is another innovation proposal for the government award, so that the private bodies will come and invest. Next, Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. This is also discussed in the declared in the 2015. Now, what actually this program? Simply I will tell. So Telangana is there, or you can see Maharashtra is there. So Telangana culture, Telangana festivals, every issue of Telangana will be promoted by the Maharashtra, and in the next year vice versa will happen. Suppose Andhra Pradesh is there, Telangana is there. So Andhra Pradesh promotes the culture, the style of living, and their practices will be promoted by Telangana in the Telangana region, and Telangana's culture and everything will be promoted by the Andhra Pradesh in the following year. That is Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. That means sharing the culture practices, sharing the social community. This helps this helps in order to reduce the gaps among the people. So that is the idea of Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. So this will be launched to link states and districts in an annual program that connects the people through exchanges in areas and languages, trade and culture. So this actually starting in the 17th Indian anniversary of independence. However, when this program actually declared in the year 2015, the Prime Minister himself quoted that in order to promote the idea of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who united this whole India, the first Deputy Prime Minister and the first Home Minister of India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, on his birth anniversary, this scheme was declared. This is to promote the different cultures of India across India. That means one state's festival, one state's culture is shared with the other state, so that the feeling of Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat will be abolished. Next, so linking of Aadhaar. See here, okay, a bill targeted to deliver financial and other subsidies, benefits and services using Aadhaar framework will be introduced. That means, suppose as already I discussed, gas is linked with Aadhaar. So if Aadhaar linked is there, the scheme or the target amount will reach to the target section. This is what the idea. Linking of Aadhaar is this same thing what I told you. Next, a social security platform will be developed using Aadhaar to accurately target beneficiaries. So this is another important proposal. Next, fair prices shops. That means this we call as a ration shops. In general terminology, the fair price shops in the country. So automation facilities will be provided 3 lakh fair price shops by March 2017. So out of the 5.35 lakh fair prices are there. Price shops are there as of now. How many are there? 5.35 lakh fair price shops are there as of now. In these shops, automatic facilities will be provided in 3 lakh fair shops by the end of March 2013. This is the target. So what happens if these facilities are provided? Can control corruption. It can reach the targeted section. So it uplifts the poor people. This is the idea. Next, fiscal discipline. So government of India had made a FRBM Act long back in 2003 or 4. Fiscal responsibility, budgetary management. That means as initially I told you, if earning 100 rupees and spending 120 rupees, that means deficiency is there, minus 20 rupees. That means always okay, the spending is more than the earning. If it happens 1 or 2 months, it is okay, but if it happens for a long back, it will become burden to that particular person. This is in order to control this deficit. Government of India had declared a FRBM Act in 2003 itself. Under this act, suppose if GDP is a gross domestic product, in GDP this deficit should not be more. Any state following as per given the parameter, the state will get huge amount of funds. That is what FRBM Act tells. So this time the fiscal target thus will be retained at 3.5% of GDP in 2016 and 17. This is what for the coming financial year. Now what actually it means? That means suppose 100 is there earning and 103.5 spending. That means in our GDP, this 100 is our GDP, in this 100 GDP, in GDP the deficit should not exceed more than 3.5%. This is the what targeted. That means the strict spending should be very genuine. We need to spend very genuinely. We need to control the highest spendings. So this is the known as fiscal discipline. So government of India control this one. This time it has put an aim, it has made an aim that it wanted to retain 3.4% of GDP spending is. So the government needed to fiscal build by just rupees 1,000 crore in 2016. So in 2015-16 actual target was exceeded. That means actually it wanted to retain certain amount, but that amount also it exceeded. What actually it means is, now according to Controller General of Accounts, that entire fiscal deficit reached 5.32 lakh crore till January 2015-16. Actually this amount is put for the financial year 2015-16. I'll tell you in general term its meaning. In 2015-16 when the budget introduced, that means last financial year, 100 rupees 120 rupees, you remember spending 100 rupees 120 rupees. If we spend like this for the 12 months, how much we are spending every month? 20 rupees more. For how many months? 12 months we have spent. That means 240 crore. So by the end of financial year the deficit amount is 240 crore. This is I have taken for 100 crore, but actual our target for 2015-16 is it should not be more than 5.32 lakh crore. This is till March 31st, but government of India has spent more amount by the January itself. That means we have to control the spending of our amount by March 31st 2016, this amount, but January itself we exceeded this amount, we reached this amount. That is what the meaning of this particular specified figure is. So in order to control this one, what we have to do, two operations are there. One is either increasing our income or decreasing spending. So two operations are there. It's a general one. Every time I am getting 100 rupees, spending 120 rupees, what I have to do? Either I have to control this extra 20 rupees or I have to increase my income. Maybe if I go to 140 rupees, if I am spending 120 rupees, still I will be in surplus of 20. So this time government of India projected in the two ways, reducing the expenditure and increasing the revenues. That is what the aim. So as far as in the budget, the finance minister will declare how much amount that the government is expecting from the rupee getting. As initially I told you how rupee comes and how rupee goes. Those are all the expectations. So they will expect how much the government can get from corporate taxes, from borrowings, from income tax, everything. They will give their projections in the budget itself. Now this time finance minister projected direct tax collections rise 2.64%. What are direct tax collections? What is actually direct tax? So direct tax is a tax where transfer is not possible. Transfer is not possible. Suppose you know corporate tax, or you can take income tax. That means income tax, if it is levied on a person, the person has to pay. For example, if you take sales tax is indirect tax where transfer is possible. That means actually the sales tax is levied on the seller, but it is transferred to the consumer. That means levied on one person, paid by the other person. That is the reason why this is an indirect tax. So direct taxes are those taxes levied on a particular body or particular person, will be paid by the particular body or the particular person. So those are the direct taxes. So this time finance minister projected that the tax collection, direct tax collections will increase by 2.64%. That means to 8.47 lakh crore. That means this time direct tax collect amount will be this amount, 8.47 lakh crore. So what was the earlier? It was 7.52 lakh crore. This was projected in 2015 and 16. The new projection is this one. That means finance minister assumed that there will be increase in the direct tax collection this time. This is what its meaning. So indirect tax collections projected to go up by 10.8%, because last year it was 7.03, right now it is 7.79. So all these are tax projections that were given. Now if we move the tax reforms to reduce compliance burden, actually in simple terms I will tell you, in order to pay the tax we need to fill various forms, and paying the tax has become itself a difficult procedure. It's a difficult, because we need assistance of CA, then we have to go to the government and various departments, all these issues. Actually we are paying the amount, still we are taking the burden. So that is the reason why many people are not willing to pay the tax, because they have to face lot of problems in paying the taxes. In paying the taxes itself, there are lot of complexities are there. So in order to reduce these complexities, the government of India reducing various norms or procedures. That was these issues were proposed in the latest budget. So the Union Finance Minister proposed tax proposals boosting employment generation through economic growth is the main objective. Other objectives would be incentivize the government's Make in India programs, promotion of measures. So all these were declared. Right. So under this one, various tax proposals are also there, right? So 100% taxation profit for startup companies for first 3 years. That means if you start a company, a startup company, you need not to pay any kind of tax for first 3 years. Otherwise, as I said, if you start a company, you will get the profit. If you get the profit, you need to pay corporate tax. But right now, for a startup company, there is no need to pay the corporate tax. For first 3 years, tax exemption is there. What happens? Many people will invest. So because there is no need to pay corporate tax, they will provide employment for more people. That means it increases employment. So what actually this is happening? So in order to promote the business environment, all these proposals were made. However, it's a big issue when India started startup in January 2016. So in 2016 itself, we covered this particular aspect in a very in detailed manner with various provisions of startup companies. So similarly, to promote innovation, to promote innovation, special patent regime was declared with the 10% tax income from worldwide exploitation of patents. That means if you want to take patent rights, what you are spending earlier was reduced. So easily you can get the patent rights. Next, the corporate income tax rate of relatively small enterprises, a company with turnout not exceeding rupees 5 crore, financial year ending 2015, will be lowered from 29% plus surcharge and cess. Actually, I will tell you the figure. They want to reduce it to 25%. So here, if a company is there doing business less than rupees 5 crore, that means its turnover is 5 crore. I am talking about the turnover, not the profit. So suppose assume that in this turnover the profit is 1 crore. Earlier they have to pay 29% as corporate tax. Now this time they need not to pay this 29 crore. So this will be reduced. Not paying means total exemption was not there. It actually reduced. That's what I want to tell. So if turnover increases more than 5 crore, they have to pay 29% plus surcharge plus cess. What is cess? Already explained what is cess. That is for a specific purpose it will be collected. What is surcharge? Surcharge is tax on tax. What its meaning is, for example, if I did the business of 100 rupees, I have to pay, assume that there is a tax of 10%. Okay, that means totally I have to pay 110 rupees. Suppose if government puts a surcharge, that means if I do business 200 rupees, so if 10% tax is there, in total I have to pay 220 rupees. If I have to pay 20 rupees extra, then if government imposes another tax on this 20 rupees, that is known as surcharge. If I reach this target, I have to pay, assume that 10%. That means out of 20, again I have to pay 10%. 10% out of 20 is, you just calculate that one. So that means 1 rupee. Okay. So I think it is 50 NP. So tax on tax. What is this 10%? This is already is 20 is tax. This surcharge is tax on this tax. That is the reason why it is known as surcharge. Surcharge is tax on tax. Okay. So they need not to pay. The new companies need not to pay. So all these were given exemption of the startup companies in order to simplifying the procedures and reducing the burden. This is the what idea. So all these are 9 important issues they were discussed in the budget. Now we will go to the other important aspects of the budget. That's what so far we discussed 9 priorities and their allocations and the complete details. Now we will move to the another component. So what is another component? So defense allocation down by 1.65%. So since China war with India, so far never this at this level reduction was not happened. This is what it's meaning. So defense allocation down to about 1.65% of GDP. If you take the total allocation, 2,49,099 crore. Okay, so last year budget estimates were 2.46. So this time this was happened. So this actually allocations, this is revised. Revised means actual spent. So in budget they will give you actual how much they want to spend. Suppose if they want to spend X, this is the budget estimates. Real estimates is at the end of financial year they will declare this one actually how much was spent. Suppose in the budget estimates they declare that they will spend 100 rupees on a particular issue. In the real estimates how much they have spent actually they will declare. Suppose if they declare that 90 rupees were spent, that means less 10 rupees spent less than what actually allocated. This is what it means. In the budget it's allocated was 2,46,727 crore, but actual spent was 2,24,636 crores. Actually it means. So that is the point. Next, NHI to raise bonds 15 crore through bonds. What actually bond is? That means it's a government of India wants to raise money through NHI. So NHI issues bonds. So normal public can also purchase bonds. Suppose if you invest 100 rupees, NHI will give you after 3 or 4 years a specific period. So maybe say 115 rupees. That means 15% interest will be given after 3 or 4 years. So what actually happens? The people will come and people will take the bonds. That means NHAI wants to raise 15,000 crore by selling this kind of bonds this year. This is what actually it means is. And as I said you, okay, so 100% villages electrification by May 2018. Already we have discussed this one. So they want to do the electrification by the end of this year. So under Deen Dayal Upadhyaya Gram Jyoti Yojana. So this is the scheme that was declared the last year again. In 2015 the scheme was declared. So under this scheme they want to provide 100% electricity to villages. So as I said you, LPG connections to poor. Already we have discussed this topic in the regular budget topic. However, a special important scheme is there, Ujala scheme. So this scheme, under this scheme LPG connections will be provided to the poor people, and for the richer people PIL scheme was started. Under this scheme they can pay the stipulated amount and they can get the gas connection within the period of 24 hours. So this will be useful for almost 5 crore people. Next, road construction activity. I said you for NHAI mobilizing, and big 10,000 kilometers target is there for this year. So actually I'll give you still some more figures as compared to average 73.5 kilometers between 2011 to 2014. That means 2011 to 2014 each year this number of kilometers were constructed. Now they want to increase this one. So on daily basis they want to construct at least 100 kilometers. So 55,000 crore was allocated. So we have given this figure already. Next, so under Swachh Bharat, lot of important given were for Swachh Bharat. Since Modi became the Prime Minister, he had given much importance to Swachh Bharat. Under Swachh Bharat, okay, Abhiyan, so open defecation free. So 9,000 crore has been provided. This you can even study under social spending or infrastructure spending, or you can study this one in rural spending also. So in order to improve sanitation, how much amount is allocated? 9,000 crore is allocated. It's a very, very important figure because government is giving much importance to Swachh Bharat. So dialysis services, as I have given you, explained you, National Dialysis Services Program. That means for under PPP it was given. For poor people they can go for dialysis. Okay, available through PPP mode under National Health Mission. All district hospitals. So certain parts of dialysis equipment will be exempted from excise custom duties to reduce the cost. This is the what idea is. Next, as we said, you scheme to promote SC/ST entrepreneurs, Stand Up India scheme. So under this scheme, 2.5 lakh entrepreneurs will be enabling to create the job. That means if new companies come with new ideas, these new companies will create employment. So for this one, SC/STs, particularly SC/ST community will get the loans. So budget allocation for this one is rupees 500 crore. So they may ask you directly question, in order to promote the entrepreneurship among SC/ST community, how much amount was allocated? That is rupees 500 crore. Otherwise, how much amount allocated for the stand-up scheme? Again 500 crore. Or the stand-up scheme is for the promotion of SC/ST. Like this, in any angle they may utilize it. And other important initiative is underutilized airports will be revived, because many airports in India were not in operation. So if these will be brought under operation, again this will create employment, again this will increase the GDP. So in order to do this one, certain amount is allocated for this one. So 160 airports, airstrips are set, which will be revived at an indicative of rupees 50 to 100 crore each. So for each, almost 160 are there. Depending upon its requirement, rupees 50 to 100 crores will be given in order to revive them. Next, nuclear power generation. And already I tell you, this is generally considered as a green power. So solar power is also a green power. This is also, even though initial cost is high, but when it comes into operation, the production cost will come down, so it benefits. And moreover, by using natural resources, creating the power generation has become very, very difficult in these days. So in order to increase this one, 3,000 crore per annum together will be given. So public investment as well as private investment is increased in order to increase the nuclear power generation in India. Next, DBT, I told you already, direct benefit of transfer, direct benefit transfer. So already for gas transferring this is implemented, and already we discussed this. Okay, DBT used for fertilizer sector also. That means if government of India sells fertilizers for less price, that means if fertilizer price is 100 rupees, government will sell it only for 50 rupees, but it is leading to the black market. But right now the farmers have to directly pay 100 rupees to the seller, to the person who is selling these fertilizers. They have to pay 100 rupees, the total cost. The 50 rupees subsidy amount will be credited directly into their account. That means it increases transparency, it increases or it controls the corruption. So Pahal scheme I already discussed, providing the gas to the people. That means already it is under the name of Pahal, it is being implemented for the gas. Right now it is implemented to the fertilizer sector. So in few districts it will be improved, and using Aadhaar in order to get the subsidies. That means by linking with the Aadhaar, the correction can be controlled. Next, in order to increase the port capacity, 800 crore is allocated. It is the benefit for the port cities. So all the port cities are there, 9 port cities are there in India in the mainland. Again, other ports are there in the island regions. So however, 800 crore to expedite national waterways project. So there are total 101 waterways are there in India, inland waterways are there. So government, the Lok Sabha already passed the bill in order to link these 101 inland waterways. So to expedite this project, 800 crore was allocated. E-Sahyog pilot project, as I said you, filling the tax, income tax. Suppose if any employee wants to pay the income tax, the process system is very difficult. So in order to simplify this, in order to reduce the burden on the payer, this scheme was allocated, as the person can directly pay the taxes on the online format. So for this one, last year itself government started E-Sahyog project. Now it will be expanded. It will be expanded to many areas. The income tax department will expand the E-Sahyog pilot project to reduce compliance costs, as I said you, especially for small taxpayers. The aim is to provide an online mechanism to resolve mismatches of income tax returns without requiring taxpayers to visit department offices. That means earlier, now taxpayer has to go to the income tax office and he has to fill there, he has to wait there till the work is finished. So all these complexities were reduced or completely abandoned by introducing this project. So through online process, the taxpayer can do all these activities. So as these are the important things about the budget. Thank you.